It's Luke Howard Live!
Thank you very much, thank you. Thank you very much for the wonderful round of applause. Hello, good morning everybody. Welcome to Britain's Brightest Best radio show. It's Saturday the 6th of February and we was due to start at 10:15, but we thought we'd start even later. Of course, because sometimes we're on at 10, sometimes we're on at 10:30, sometimes we're even on at 10:20, and sometimes we're even on at 10:15. Just pretend what happens and all that. But today we're on at the later time of 10:25. We like to be on at different times on the show as well. It gets a bit boring really doing it at the same time, so sometimes we like to up the beat on Britain's Brightest Best radio show. So today we started at 10:25, the later time. But anyway, we got a great show lined up for you today. We're talking lots of great news, playing great music, kicking start your weekend in style, as they say. Great way to kickstart the weekend. We're going to kick it off in great style on the show today. Now, news that we're going to be talking about is a Panorama BBC team has been threatened by following boxing and the mobile programme. Then we're also going to be talking about COVID, of course, more vaccines. I know, more vaccines. We're going to be talking more about that on the show in a minute. But first, I actually just want to talk about a news that sparked my eye this morning as soon as I came through the doors. Christopher Plummer, a very famous actor, has passed away at the age of 91. Very good age, really. But he was an Oscar in 2012, of course, for the film Beginnings. He was also nominated for The Last Nation 2010 or For All the Money in the World. And actually, he would mostly be most famous for as Captain Von Trapp in The Sound of Music back in 1964. So, yeah, that's what he would mostly be famous for. But he won an Oscar then, and then in the latest film, he also replaced Kevin Spacey, whose performance as billionaire J. Paul Getty was also removed as well. By the way, if you'd like to get in touch with the show, I completely forgot, but if you'd like to get in touch with the show, you know, everyone knows what I'm like. I'm all over the place. Yeah, if you'd like to get in touch with the show today, please do go ahead. You can either email GaryJHoward68@hotmail.com or 345-457@student.hrc.ac. You can also find me on Instagram. It's the Luke Howard fan page, and you could also use hashtags, hashtag Luke Howard, hashtag Luke Howard Live, hashtag Luke listen to Luke Howard Live, and of course, and all that. So it'd be great if you can get in touch with the show. Anne Boleyn, that's a good name, Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn from Northumberland has got in touch with the show to say, Luke, the show is fantastic. You brighten up my day, absolutely amazing. And we've also had a message from Paul from Bedfordshire, who also got in touch with the show to say, Luke, the show is amazing, you play great tunes. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. I'll always take them forward, of course, on the show. I'll always take your messages forward on Britain's Brightest Best radio show. Now, anyway, getting back to Christopher Plummer, because he was in many other films, which included A Man Who Would Be the King and Knives Out. And he was memorable when he was kingdom in the 6th Star Trek film and played TV anchorman Mike Wallace in 1990's The Insider. He also played Sherlock Holmes in The Murder by Degree and appeared with Peter Sellers in The Return of the Pink Panther. Now, I do know who Christopher Plummer is. I do know who he is. But according to the reports, he died peacefully at his home in Connecticut circuit with his wife Elaine Taylor at his side. Now, Lou Pitt, his long-time friend and manager for 46 years, remembered him as an extraordinary man who deeply loved and respected his professions. And he was a national treasure who deeply reflected Canadian roots. He also continued through his art and humanity, and he touched all of our hearts. And his legendary life, of course, will endure for all generations to come, which is true, because he will never ever be forgotten, of course, and he will always be with us. And the Sound of Music co-star, this is Julie Andrews. She said in a statement that the PA news agency, The World, has lost a communicator actor today, and she said, I have lost a characterised friend. And it's true, yeah. And and the treasure of the memories of their work together and all the humour and fun they shared through the years. The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Science, which awards the Oscars, said that he beloved audiences across generations. Is that true? Is that right? Yeah, we are right there. We really are right. And and the Academy of the Motion Pictures, of course, as well. And BAFTA added its condolences, praising his amazing work since the 50s. The official Twitter account for The Sound of Music posted their condolences as well. Very, very good. Now, Star Trek actor George Taylor called the actor a giant of stage and screen, adding the rest in ethnic music. And Eddie Marsden worked with Plummet on the 2016 film with the expression and said it was like watching a master class, and he had nothing to prove anyone, so he was completely free, kind, funny, and also mysterious and beautiful to watch. Now, Lord of the Rings star Edric Wood, who worked alongside him on animated film 9, expressed the condolences, adding, "What a legend." He had a very career across film, television, theatre, of course, because I've known quite a lot about who this person was, and he was starring in productions on Broadway. I went to see him in a film a couple of years ago, actually, funny enough, called The Man Who Invented Christmas. He was in that film. He did a lot of work for the Royal Shakespeare Company as well, which is what I know. And he will also be forever known as Love for the Sound of Music, of course. And he had ambivalent feelings towards the best-known film, which he famously renamed The Sound of Music in interviews. He also linked working with Andrews to being hit over the head with a big Valentine's Day card every day, though they later became great friends as well. He also became recognised the film itself, describing it in his 2008 Remember the Spirit of Myself as being warm, touching genres, and absolutely timeless as well. And there's a picture of them back in 2015, actually, funny enough, that I'm seeing now. And here we go. After Christmas, he was in as well, and Toronto in December 1920. After Christopher. Sorry, On the Planet in Toronto was in December 1929. He was born in December 1929, and he grew up in Montreal as an only child and was exposed to the arts of his mother at an early age. He first studied the piano before diverting himself to acting, and having decided that playing the piano professionally was very very hard work. He also made his debut on the New York role as in 1954's The Star-Crossed Story alongside the actress Mary Astor. It ran for about one performance, but did not stop them landing more stage work, and then of course the leading roles as well. He made his film debut in 1958 as Stage Truck, directed by Sidney Lumet. He was also nominated for a Tony following the year, and eventually won the award in 1974 for playing Crony de Blagrick. He also won a second in 1997 for playing fellow actor John Barrymore in Barrymore. Well, not the John Barrymore, is it? The one we all know. I'm sure it is. But anyway, in 2017, he was asked by Ridley Scott to appear in All the Money in the World, which he had already completed with Spacey. Following allegations of sexual misconduct, though, it also made against Spacey, and the film's makers decided against releasing the film, which was actually his original performance. He also shot his scenes in a matter of days and was significantly nominated for an Oscar, BAFTA and a Golden Globe. It was also Scott and his wife Jeremy paid tribute to him, telling the Hollywood Reporter what a guy, what a talent, what a life, and he was fortunate enough to work with him less than 2 years ago and had a wonderful experience, and the heartfelt condolences go to his wife Elaine, and they will all be very really missed. The actor was married 3 times, and his first wife was Tammy Grims, and they are the parents of actresses Amanda Plummer as well. Okay, I think that's the children's names, isn't it? I'm sure it is. But yeah, that is Christopher Plummer, who has very sadly passed away, and our thoughts are with his family, of course. Okay, so let's move on then and talk about, because I want to talk about COVID vaccines once again. I just want to get this out of the way with, okay, because Dr. Cleatock told a news programme that the task force met every target set. The UK would be ahead of the game in terms of unaccepted variants of COVID, and was making libraries of future vaccines. He also added that the UK would not hoard supplies, but would also disparate them globally once the UK target is met. Downing Street has said everyone in the UK aged 50 and over should have been offered a COVID vaccine by May this very year, and previously ministers had said it was their ambition to vaccinate the first 9 priority groups by the spring. As of Thursday just gone, the UK had given a first jab to nearly 11 million people and was aiming to reach 15 million vaccinations by the 15th of February this very year. which isn't very far actually, which is about a week this Monday. It would actually be, would you believe, this Monday it'd be a week until they could do that. So yeah, but Dr. Tix told the news programme that we would work day and night to ensure that we meet whatever we can, and do the target is feasible can also be met as well. They're all very optimistic that they will meet the May target, and questions have been asked and raised around the efficiency of vaccines against variants of the virus, including the one first identified all the way down in Kent, funny enough, of course. Yesterday, Oxford AstraZeneca said its vaccine gave people good protection against the UK variant. And variants in South Africa and Brazil have also been identified. Dr. Tix said the UK was at the variant of surviving the variants and able to second guess mutants that have been yet cured. They were also then able to make vaccines for those variants who told the programme. They'll also make libraries of future vaccines, just small amounts, enough to then, if it does not cure, I think it does a quick clinical study to see that it works, and then start manufacturing it as well. It was asked that whether they could be vaccine busting variant of the same stage, and it was also a possibility that they would also be ahead of the game, and where they're not going to be waiting for it to happen as well. They're also going to be having capabilities of the UK to be responsible for the capability, and will just be for the use of the UK. Of course. Now, they've done it again, and it will actually help the whole world, because it's actually going to be part of what it would, a surveillance of the reaction. Former Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt, he warned that mutations of the virus could lead to a cycle of lockdowns in the future of measures which were not in place, such as effective contact tracing as well. The worry that they have to really plan for is a possibility that we'll have a new mutation that is actually immune to the vaccines that they're giving out. At the moment, in order to make sure that they won't get caught out by that again, they need to get transmission levels down to the kind of levels where they can do incredibly through contact tracing like they do in Korea and Taiwan as well. Not Taiwan show. Yeah, no, I mean Taiwan. So, yeah. Okay, one more story then to talk about on the show today, and quickly, it's about Panorama, the BBC team threatened following Boxing and the Mobe programme. Now, the BBC Panorama team has been threatened following the programme about a suspected crime boss influence in world boxing. Police in Northern Ireland have warned about an unexpected threat from the moral critical elements in reaction to the programme broadcast on Monday just gone. So that was, 1st of February? Was it 5 days ago, am I right? Yeah, 5 days ago. And investigating the role played in the spot of the Daniel Kinnaman, named in the Irish courts as the head one of Europe's most permanent drug cartels. The programme led to calls for tighter regulation of the sport, although some in boxing have defended the involvement. Joe Carr, the BBC's head of current affairs, said that the place is the almost priority of the safety of the teams, where journalism plays a virtual role in the free society, and it is special and incredible if thugs think they can muzzle a free press through information. They will also continue to throw light into even the murkiest of corners, and the courts in Ireland have expected that an organised crime group linked to Mr. Cannon's involved in drug trafficking and execution style murders. The group is also suspected of involvement in a rival Dublin gang that has resulted in 18 people being murdered. And now the lawyer told the programme that he has no criminal record for convictions of the allegations about him being a crime boss and are false and have no individual basis. The lawyer said that he so far has a client's record in boxing which is concerned, and he has been proud of his record in boxing to date. Now, the involvement is boxing caused on outcry and last summer, when world heavyweight champion Tyson Fury publicly thanked him for sitting up as a match unexpected title fight with fellow British champion Anthony Joshua. Funny enough, the criticism died down after it was announced that they would no longer regulate Mr. Fury's fights, and he was stepping away from boxing as well. Boxing and the Mo programme discovered the suspected crime boss was still advising top fighters in world boxing. And Mr. Fury did not respond to questions about whether Mr. Cameron was still acting as his personal advisor. Okay, we'll leave that story. National Days, by the way, before I forget. It's Lame Duck Day today. Very weird. It's Chopsticks Day as well. If you like chopsticks, I mean, if you're having Chinese tonight, go and get some chopsticks and you can have it with them. So it's Chinese New Year very soon as well. It's also Frozen Yogurt Day and it's also Breakfast Day. Eat ice cream for breakfast day. Ooh. I wouldn't actually have ice cream for breakfast. To be honest with you, I don't actually think it's a very good thing to have for breakfast. It's